sis.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, Debz?
Yeah, I'm cool, babes. I'm really well, actually. How are things with you?
Yeah, things have been good. I've been really busy setting up this online dance event and kind of getting through all the tech issues and stuff like that, but I'm pretty much ready. So I launched it yesterday, and yeah, tickets are up for sale. So
Nice one.
exciting. Yeah, no, it's been quite a ride actually, but
Yeah.
I'm excited that I'm now going to have that kind of flow and the platform to do whatever I want, really.
Yeah, it's needed. It's needed because, you know, but we're, touching base on what we're going to talk about today is like the club scene, like where we met is the club scene, right? And it's kind of a passion for both of us. It's like where we've been used to going out and shaking our shit off, if you like, and whatever else. But yeah, we're kind of going to talk about how it's going to fit in now with the 5D lifestyle, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Like, how are we gonna evolve as human beings, in the scene, in the dance scene? Like, what would the dance scene look like? What's it gonna look like?
Yeah.
What's it gonna look like once we're all kind of like living these, lives, kind of more clean lives and healing.
Yeah.
And also, how can we use this scene? How can we shift the scene? How can we make it better for us, for our health, for, like, how can we make the most of those spaces to heal faster, perhaps?
Yeah, right. Because yeah, I've got to say, back in the day, like 88, when the scene kicked off in a big way in London, I was only a nipper, but for me it brought about a sense of belonging, because London was very different back then. Like, there was a lot of racial issues and a lot of tension in London, particularly in London. I can only speak for London because I'm a Londoner, and I wasn't kind of up north seeing what was going on up north, but I presume under Thatcher's reign it was pretty much just as grim. Do you know what I mean? But I remember one night in Camden Palace seeing like meat wagons of police all the way down Camden High Street, being really confused that all the football thugs that were usually killing each other on a Saturday were in Camden Palace. Blacks, whites, gays, straights, it was all going on in Camden Palace, and everyone was on a love buzz. Yes, there was drugs helping the situation, but not everyone was on drugs. And it was just a sense of togetherness and unity, which I think has kind of been watered down and thinned down over the years. Because obviously from that scene, there's been loads of different genres that have come from house music, Chicago house, acid house. So it will be interesting to see if we're going to make it full circle, and that love and that unity and that caring sense of well-being is going to come back to the scene, which it comes in little droves, but the drugs aren't the same, and people have evolved from the drugs. Either people have left the drugs well alone, or people are in rehab because they went OTT on the drugs, right? Or they're dead because they went really OTT on the drugs. So it'll be interesting to see where the fifth dimension is going to take the club scene and the music scene. And I think what you're doing, what you're bringing to the table, is one avenue of it, and it's a good thing what you're doing, because it's bringing about that sense of, a conscious MC movement, and it really is sort of grounding people into that moment and bringing a sense of connection, which is what I loved about the party. I've only been to one of your parties, but it was really, really good good gig, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting because, as you were saying, it's like, you know, yeah, the drugs aren't as good anymore, but it's not just that. It's actually as well, how many years can you go on taking exterior substances to be able to get to that high, to be able to get to that feeling of unity, to be able to get to that feeling of oneness?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, because we just do it because we call for that feeling of oneness, you know? It's like, I remember when in London, you know, you get the old school and they're like, oh, it's never going to be like back in the day, you know.
No, it's not. Of course it's not,
No,
because it's past.
you know, and it's just like, and it's that kind of, you get kind of grumpy, you know, and I'd get upset. It would be like, actually, you know, it's really, it's a frequency and it's a vibration that you can carry. But again, like we always speak in our talks, it comes from programming. Because even in the dance scene, and even our belief system has been programmed to believe that unless we don't have something exterior, an exterior substance to allow us, you know, we won't enter that kind of feeling of oneness, that feeling of being together, that feeling of, you know, that we so call for. But actually, this is where, you know, moving from 3D to 5D is actually quite important for everybody to grasp and everybody to understand, because we're all, you know, bass lovers, music lovers, you know, we all love
Sound lovers. Yeah, sound lovers.
Yeah, sound lovers. We all well, some of us more because we love going out raving, because we just love listening to the sound system, we love listening to connecting with people and so on, right? But I think it's not about finding that solution in the exterior anymore. And that's why I feel like what I'm doing at the moment can assist you to actually tap in to finding that love within you, and actually nurturing that love within you, and feeling, that sensation of being on a high without being on a high, if you will, like without having an exterior substance. In some sense, what I'm trying to say is that, so when we would take that ecstasy back in the day, when we would go out raving, or that ecstasy is literally simply just enhancing the heart. It's enhancing the love that is already within you.
Yeah, of course.
It's
I know.
already within you.
Totally
It always was within us. But because we have been programmed in the system, and we have all these shadows, and we have all these dramas, and all this heavyweight suitcase that we, you know, carry around, then obviously, you know, we don't see it clearly. We can't connect to it as straight as, you know, as fast as we could when we take an ecstasy, or when we take a substance. When we take a substance, it opens it up directly, and it's like, oh my God, it's there, you know, but it's always there. But sometimes you need to peel the onion. You need to like go slowly. You need to play some soft music first. You need to have some play, and then go in, because the drugs are not as good as they were. You can't just go on, you know, in a banging techno party and just walk in there and go, right, that's it, I'm going to be on the speaker dancing like a maniac. You know,
you could do. If that floats your boat. I'm not gonna stop anyone that could get there. Go for it. Do you know what I mean?
No, you could do, but you know, us lot, you know, it takes us a bit longer now, you know, because also the older you get, the more layers of that onion there are, you know, the heavier your baggage is, you know, and the rustier your bones are. So it's just like, you know, there's only so much stuff you can put in the body for it to function. And this is when we start realizing that actually, once we take care of ourselves, you know, that is when we start feeling that actually it will be the same as back in the day. It is the now, you know. It's like, you know, it's incredible what we can create once we change that perception, and we change that belief that it's never going to be the same, you know.
Yeah, I hear where you're coming from. I think for me, the whole drug element, I mean, I stopped doing drugs years ago, like ecstasy, coke. I had like, you know, we've spoke about it on previous talks that, you know, I got on the coke, and I think that was key element to what ruined the scene, is cocaine, the influx of cocaine. And also taking, I think it's called saffron, the herb that was in the original pills. they put a ban on producing that herb. So the key element of the pills that were back in the day that really did make you feel loved up, and you didn't need to sort of bang freaking 4 or 6 of them in a night for them to work. You only needed a little half or a little nibble, you know, and even the come downs were lovely. But because we was all loving and hugging one another, the powers that be didn't like that, because they wanted the football hooligans, yeah, because they were creating a distraction for them to get away with whatever skullduggery they were getting away with. So it was in their interest to remove such a herb, yeah, for them to enable control on the scene, because it was a powerful movement. It wasn't just young kids going out, you know, there was like, it was an array of ages that were there, you know, people as young as myself. I was 16 when I first started going out on the acid house scene. Before that, it was reggae for me, yeah, and sound systems. And the sound systems that were quite predominant in London kind of melted into the acid house scene. So yes, we was in clubs, but we was also, there was people breaking into warehouses to have a party, right? And that unique sound that we had it was a frequency beyond measure. It wasn't digital, it was analog, right? So when these sound men were tuning in the sound system, you tune in an instrument without a tuning fork, you do it from your own heart, your 432 hertz frequency. So that's the type of music we were listening to. The drugs were purer because, I don't think there's such a word as pure, is there? More pure. So that was a key to unlocking your inner vibe, if you like, your inner frequency. So I like to look at drugs as a tool, yeah? And if you use the same tool, that tool is going to eventually wear out and blunt itself, yeah? Because it's a physical, right? So for me, I kind of think, all right, we know what it's supposed to feel like because we've used the tool. My generation have used the tool, right? We know what the sound system's supposed to sound like. We know what the drugs are supposed to feel like. So we have that knowledge, that knowing. So how about we try bringing it together without the drugs, without the crutch, if you like, to lean upon? Because I find my new drug is running energy, connecting to source. That's my new drug. And that really works for me. It puts me in a really good state of being. I don't get depressed. I have low days, yeah, you know, everyone are like sort of a bit, I wouldn't even call them low days, just kind of flatline days, yeah. And it's usually because I need to rest. It's not because, you know, anything else other than that. So I'm wondering what people are going to create in this new dimension that humanity's reaching for and evolving into.
Oh, I mean, the thing is that it's nothing new, like you said it, right? It's nothing new because when house music was created in the States, the Chicago house, and they did it because it was a frequency, it was a vibration of love, right?
Yeah.
So
totally.
we can get back to that, you know, but maybe we just need to I don't know, think of other ways of kind of, you know, getting to that connection within community, you know, within a rave. I mean, there are raves out there. I mean, I don't know what's going on in London at the moment. Have you been out lately? How is the vibe? Like,
I haven't been out for, I can't remember the last time I went out. It wasn't that long ago, but it wasn't that memorable because I can't remember it. There you go. Right, there you go. That says it all, yeah? Because something that's going on in London at the moment is a lot of the clubs, they all have to adhere by the rules and regulations of Babylon, yeah? you can't play your music at this level. It has to be at this level. And you need a license to do this. And people need a license to dance and blah, blah, blah. Like, come on, they're just robbing people, you know? You're the one that are saying we can't dance unless we pay £600 or whatever it costs to buy a license for people to dance, or for people to smoke outside. You need to buy it's just through the roof. So it kind of takes away a lot of the spontaneity of what used to be back in the day, because everything's licensed. You can be on the dance floor and me and you could have a full-blown conversation like we was in one of our living rooms, but there's music at the back. I don't remember that. I remember feeling bass line, yeah, that vibrates through your body and makes you feel you're moving without even moving. It's a vibration going on, yeah? And it's that tribal element where we're all together and we're all stomping on the dance floor. And perhaps some people are taking mind-altering substances, because we have done that for eons as humans, yeah, whether it be licking frogs or whatever we've been up to, yeah, we have done that. I'm not saying that that's where we're necessarily going forward, because I've seen the dark side of, you know, people taking way too many drugs. Like, they got lost in 88, yeah, they haven't come back from 88. They're still in that, like what you say, oh, it's not like it was back in the day. They're stuck there because it was that's so much mind-blowing of an energy that it was kind of sad to let it go. So I do get that, but we really do need to start coming full circle. And I've got my little thinking cap on as to what's next, what because I really want to go out and have a shimmy with like-minded people. I don't necessarily want to be stuck in a room with loads of pissed people that are being abusive to one another or talking rubbish. Doesn't appeal to me. So yeah, I got my
I mean, it's interesting that you say that, because it's funny, because I had a thought when you were saying, like, yeah, I mean, because obviously there's raves happening and there's parties happening, but they're still happening in the, you know, whatever's controlled by the dark ones, by the deep state. You know, it's controlled by the system. Yeah, it's controlled. It's like, yeah, it's like basically like back in the day when they didn't want you guys to rave, they are actually in control of where you are raving now. You know what I mean? It's
yeah, exactly that.
Yeah, so
exactly
it doesn't resonate,
because there's no way you could actually hear someone speaking on a dance floor. That's what the chill out room was for. You went to the chill out room to have a conversation, roll a spliff.
I know there's people trying to change the laws at the moment, and they're trying to get together to change all the rules and regulations that are coming in from the club scene, and all the rules and regulations from the current system. But actually, that's like, I don't know, for me, in my mind, that's like hitting your head against the wall. It's like you're trying to go against the enemy, when really what you need to do is just not go to those places anymore. You know, you need to create parties kind of out in the woods, or, you know, create a party in the park or wherever you can do it, and maybe do it in community, or maybe it's more like family orientated now. Maybe it's more combining healing with DJs and music and food, you know, because food is a great, you know, source of energy. And actually, I've spoken to a few DJ producers and like promoters who are already doing this, and you know, they're combining like live music with DJs. So doing stuff in bars, doing stuff in like open air, doing things in parks and community centers maybe, or even going out to the woods. You know, there's so many things that you can do. Maybe so we can create it so that's kind of, maybe just finding different spaces, even if it is illegal. Maybe we go back to the illegal raves, but let them be, you know, somewhere where it's a free space or someone's land, or, you know, like, I think it's more based, it's going to be more community based with children and food and all the good nutrition of the earth, and maybe healing sessions while the music is going on, so you can speak about frequencies as well as listen to them. I mean, there are some guys who are doing like some amazing pioneering work right now with frequencies and dance music, and they're doing like these are they're called El Joran Siman, and they're doing the House of Ra, it's called, and they're already doing events in Miami and Tulum. They're doing a New Earth festival in Tulum, and it's all about like bringing in the crystals and helping us to change our carbon-based bodies into crystalline bodies, and doing it through music. That's the future of dance music. Understanding, but you know, this is why we need to understand what we're made of, like why it's important for us to release what no longer serves us, why it's important to get rid of the shadows that no longer are holding us down, you know, and then being able to activate the body in a healthy way so that we understand why it's so important to do this work, so that we understand that, yeah, we are coming to a crystalline earth, you know, like Mother Earth is now becoming more crystalline, more crystalline because of the energies that are coming out in from the sun, and you know, the 5D core in Mother Earth that has been activated. So this is insane information, but this is like, this blows any ecstasy. This is like, you know,
of course it does.
Like the highest drug you can take when you're visualizing this stuff in a very subtle meditation, or you actually learn how to connect with your ascended masters and your guides, and you actually start to see angels, and you actually start to step into that 6th, 7th dimension, and you understand that we have 12 chakras, not 7, and that we've been told all these lies. And once we learn all of that,
it's actually more than 12.
Well,
in Indian prophecies, there's more than 12. You got like chakra buds as well as chakras.
Oh wow. Yeah. I mean, I'm finding out the craziest information, like we all have a soul mission on this planet, and out there to anyone who is kind of getting a little bit like, maybe they want to create something new within the dance scene, or they're music lovers or music makers. It's about being creative, and anything goes right now. You know, it doesn't have to be part of the system. We don't have to wait for the rules to change, because they ain't going to change. I don't think they're going to change. I think it's going to be more difficult. I don't know if they have I don't know if they have the whole V paperwork, or whether you still have to have a test, or I don't know how.
I'm not even interested in that.
No, I mean, through this whole COVID thing, I would never even go into those places, because it just doesn't resonate with me. I don't even want to be with people that want to go to those places.
Yeah.
Because it feels like we haven't evolved. We're supposed to be evolving.
Yes.
Okay, this has all happened to us for a reason. It's not for us to go, oh, everything's back to normal now, let's just go to the club.
There is nothing normal. There is nothing normal about any of this nonsense.
Nothing is the same, because the planet, you know, everything has shifted, and now everything is bubbling up. And that's why all our shit is coming out. And that's why through dance, we can release that, but we need to do it with intention. You need to do it with intention. Totally, yeah. You need to understand what is happening. And back in the day, it was more simple. It was just, you know, in that time, in the 80s or whenever, at that time, these energies weren't on the planet yet. And we were just waking up to the love within and seeing how amazing it was to live in 5D, because that was 5D.
Totally. Oh, totally. I mean, I've done festivals where what you've just spoke about was paramount. You know, there was like, well, I was actually offering healing, not doing like club promoting or anything to do with music. It was healing that I was offering to the festival. So there was like a festival that had a healing field, and then it had different sort of music tents, and the food, it was all vegan food, and all the packaging was all recyclable packaging, you know, even down to the alcohol that they were selling was organic and sort of locally sourced. I mean, it was very, very well put together. There's also like the Bass Festival that I've been doing for the last few years as well. You know, it's done in really lovely surroundings, and it's a great mix of people, and the music there it's not necessarily pumping music. There's certain elements for me that are slightly missing, that I kind of like that tribal gathering, you know. I like that, which is why I like your night. Your night was very, we never really knew one another. Like, there was a few pockets of people knew this one and that one, but by the end of it, we were a tribe. We were a tribe that had bare foot on the earth, you know, shaking it down.
We were rolling around the floor.
Yeah, man. Screaming like banshees. My kind of party, girl. You know what I mean? Really, my kind of party. So
yeah, completely. I mean, there are festivals out there. Like, basically, I was 10 years in London, and I remember I was vocalizing in London, emceeing in clubs, and it was all very like, oh, let's go to one party, then we go to the after party, and it was just like, but my body, I was in chronic severe pain. My body was like this, like I had to stop. I had to come out of the scene. I couldn't do that anymore. So that's why I started kind of vocalizing. It became like a conscious MC. That's what they called me. I would call myself a party energizer, but then people on that scene would call me a conscious MC. I always thought it was a bit like, oh, conscious, eh? Do you know what I mean? I don't like the whole conscious thing, you know. It's actually, some of the conscious DJs that I'd see were really shit, actually.
What have I told you about mincing your words?
No, but do you know what I mean? They weren't.
No, I totally get it.
No,
yeah.
You do get that. You go to the aesthetic dances, and you go to, but some of these places, like the whole concept of it is really good. It's healthy. You've got yoga, you've got, you know, massagers, you've got DJs, but some of the DJs, they're playing all sorts of different styles. It's like, okay, I'm gonna play a bit of funky now, and I'm gonna play a bit of deep house, now I'm gonna play a bit of I don't know, commercial, whatever. It's just like, I think good DJs also, when they're in their heart, it doesn't matter if they're conscious or not, if they're playing to an unconscious crowd or not, you know, there's some sort of a journey, you know, there's a journey.
But you know, it's not necessary for someone to call themselves a conscious DJ, because a good DJ is conscious of what the crowd is doing.
Exactly.
That is a DJ. There's so many people that will refer to themselves as a DJ, and I actually don't think they're a DJ at all. They're just playing music. I can do that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and I could probably do it a lot better than some of these people that call themselves a DJ. Everyone runs around calling themselves a DJ now, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they are. They could just play music. And I think, you know, the whole digital thing as well, where people are sort of carrying around their flash drive, and it's different. Like the vibe of playing vinyl is an art form. It truly is, because you pick up the atmosphere and the energy of the party through that little microphone that's on the end of the needle. It doesn't just play the music, it feeds back what the atmosphere of the party is. Digital music killed that. Yeah, completely killed that. So whether people are playing...
That was there by design again.
Of course.
But we're so amazing. We just adapted to that and we carried on, you know? You carry on. But sorry for interrupting. Yeah, go on. You were saying.
No. It's, you know, I think sound and the quality of sound is really important for us to move forward in the dance scene, most definitely. Yeah. Because it, you know, sound and music is what we are. We are a vibration, and sound and music is a vibration. Yeah. So I do visualize that once we kind of get the technical stuff, all the technical knowledge that's been hidden from us to stop our evolution. I mean, there's no stopping our evolution now. We are going forward, and people better jump on the bandwagon and come forward or drop off, because I don't believe there's any sort of grey areas. It's very black and white where we're going. So I think technology is going to help us to really enhance that whole vibe again. And that, for me, I think, you know, where we met at my 432 party, I think I was way ahead of time for that. And people didn't really get where I was going. It was a statement. It was a statement as, you know, this frequency is the frequency of the heart and where we should be what we should be listening to. Because digital sound is a limited sound, and our hearing gets vexed. We get vexed when we hear this shrunken, distorted sound. So many people are listening to a distorted sound. They actually don't really have a clue, because they've just come onto the scene, and it's all great, right? Because there's like a crowd of people there, they're having a little bit of a drink or whatever they're doing. And, you know, there's a really cool DJ because everyone likes this DJ on Facebook, and he's got 10,000 followers on Facebook, but can't rock a party. But they think that is what it's about, when it's not. It's about the vibe and the feeling. And I don't really care whether you empty bins, clean houses, rock with the Royals, you're an entrepreneur with 1,000 businesses. When you're on that dance floor, you're all one. And that is where we need to get back to.
Yeah, I agree completely. And, you know, I resonate when you said, like, you were way ahead of the game, like way ahead of, I think basically the same thing happened to me. Like, I went to London because I knew I had this soul mission to create love and to heal people with my voice and with my life knowledge or whatever. I had to live a lot of different experiences in London and get, you know, fall over, stand up again, carry on, continue. But the whole point of that was for me to understand that what was given to me, the gift of my voice, was given to me to heal other people. It was given to me as a service to others. And that is what we need to understand now. And now this is the time where I know that what I have to offer is going to help people, because people are going to have to move to working within. We have to do this, every single one of us. And my message, I will have to go soon, Debz, but my message to DJs, music producers, music people, music lovers, is that if you have that calling, that fire within you, it's now is the time to understand that music was given to us to heal. Okay, music takes us to the 6th, 7th dimension.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Blows it out of the water.
Once we're in the 5th dimension, the music takes us to the 6th, 7th dimension, which means we're now opening up to the galactic gateways, and like we are freaking proper ascending and evolving as human beings that we are. And the light within us is going to be growing so strong. But for that, we need to do the work, and we need to realize, get out of the old system. Fuck the old system. Who cares about the old system? Let's create new ways. Let's create new ways of doing shit. Let's just do it, you know? We have a technology.
Burn the old system. Burn the old system and dance in the ashes. That's what I say.
No, but seriously, it's for every single one of us to notice and to say, okay, you know what? Maybe I will step back for a minute. And actually, it's okay. But a lot of people are stuck to their ego of who they were, of what music they were playing, of what crowd they were playing to, or of what, you know? And it's actually, you don't have to keep on playing that style. Why don't you step back and find out about like frequencies of the heart, mix those ones in. You know, because those are the ones we need to listen to. Because if you're playing dark sounds, let me tell you, people are not going to resonate with that sound anymore.
No,
they're not going to resonate with that sound anymore. And whoever does are going to be the ones that are not going to be evolving, and they're going to be the ones that are blocked, the ones that are still in 3D, that are not seeing away from their limited mind. They're not seeing that there's so much more to create and so much more to do within the music industry and within the dance scene worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is so exciting. We're such exciting times. It's not time for us to go, oh my goodness, they're taking away the system. So what are you going to do? You're going to be the victim? No. We have to be creative. Just start doing other things, you know? Or even mixing therapy with music, like just combining stuff, you know, which is kind of what I'm doing, because I healed myself and now I'm teaching people to heal themselves, to align their chakras through dance. And I'm doing it really humbly. You know, not with an ego, like, oh, I know I'm better than you. No, it's actually just, I've sat back for years thinking, okay, my time will come. You know, I've been suffering pain. I've been doing my shit and living my life. And now maybe it's my time to be creative, you know? But hey, that's just the way this evolution is. And we all just need to grow together as one, as you were saying, Debz, you know? And also, just one more thing about the conscious scene. And yeah, there's a lot of festivals with, you know, conscious stuff, but we need to also be aware that this whole green thing and free to the climate change, and you know, a lot of these people get funding from the deep state as well. So we have to be careful. We have to start afresh with no support from the current governments, because they will not allow you to express your full capacity.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
From time you and one man band, you need to stand strong or come together with other like-minded, you know,
totally
aware people.
Totally feel that. Totally feel that. From time you can listen to someone's conversation on a dance floor when you're supposed to be feeling the beat of that tune that's playing. Yeah, you know, Babylon has a hold over that. Even how we're listening to sound now, Babylon has a hold over that, and people really need to start clocking in. I mean, you know, the old school DJs, they're kind of, you know, have to pay the mortgage, so they just go along with it. But really and truly, if we all was to turn around and say, no, I'm not doing that, because that's not how it's supposed to be, that's not where we come from, you know, things would shift. Because the music scene, because there was such a big following and there was such a big uptake of it, of course, money became one of the principal flows to it, not actually the goodness of the party and the vibe of the party. It was money. How much money can I make? Oh, now I've got a mortgage, I've got to pay my bills. So you were plugged into the programming, like what you've said before, you know, so we've kind of come full circle in our conversation. But once you're on the treadmill, that's when people start selling their souls. And I don't think that it's really the way forward, you know.
It's like we've been running the rat race. We've been in this rat race musically, you know, like selling music and so on. I mean, and now it's like with the whole digital, it's difficult to even make any money. Okay,
yeah,
so
totally. I mean, yeah, exactly. What is that?
Yeah, but what? And also, it's just like, and before you try and get too creative, if you know that you also need to stop and be with yourself and actually touch the ground and put your feet on the ground and actually just breathe for a moment before you start thinking, what else can I do? What else can I make? What else can I do? Because actually the abundance that you're looking for within the music, or if your soul has a calling for music, or you know you've got something there, it will come, but it has to come and it has to resonate with the heart, because abundance goes hand in hand with the heart. Abundance goes hand in hand with self-esteem. And actually, most of us, our self-esteem is not good, okay, in many different areas. And that's why we have diseases and illnesses. And that's why we need to look at that first. We need to realign our self-esteem, you know, and we need to do that. And that's why, for me, what I'm offering now is so important, because I think it's the perfect moment, because it's at home. So I do this online, and you are literally in your living room with your freaking speakers, and you can put them as loud as you want, and all I do is guide you softly, and then we go into like some proper tunes, but we do it slowly and we grow, and you start feeling all of these areas of your body and how they activate, and I guide you softly where we want to go, you know, and you feel, wow, you feel alive after that, and you haven't even left your house, you know. So are
you gonna be doing it in person ones? Because there is also a powerful resonance when we get together, and let's not forget the powers that be. The powers that be don't like us together.
Exactly. No, definitely. I'm going to be doing some in Mallorca, so I'll probably organize something so the UK, you know, if anyone wants to come from the UK, I will be doing events. I'm doing one once a month, but at the moment I'm just focusing on this, because a lot of people, I mean, the thing is, you can't do this work. A lot of people won't do this work and go out and do it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to do that. Well. That's too deep. A lot of people don't want to go in. A lot of people don't want to cry in public.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get that.
Perfect, because nobody is watching you. Okay, I'm just going to streamline it. I'm not doing it on Zoom. I'm not interested in Zoom. And people, I want people to go in. I want people to go in and cry and just be with yourself, and nobody's watching. And this is the right time to do that, so you can release that, and so then you can connect with your heart, and then figure out what it is you want to do now with music, now that you're understanding that we're coming into this 5D way of living, because that is what is so important right now, is our evolution. 3D to 5D, because 5D is where I want to be, baby.
Yeah, baby. Woo, 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 woo.
So it's super exciting. But anyway, Debz, I'm going to have to leave you. Love you and leave you.
All
but,
right, darling. Listen, we catch up soon.
Yeah, yeah. To all those dance lovers, music lovers, yeah, keep your chin up high. We carry on evolving, and there's so much to do. There's so many new things we can create. It's just believing that you are all possibilities.
Indeed, my love. Indeed. Okay, everyone who's watching, thank you. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and come and see us in BellaEmotion. We're always slinging around some good energy in there and some good info. So yeah, thanks to all that have liked and shared and subscribed already. It's appreciated.
Yeah, definitely appreciated. And also I'll leave a link with the event on our YouTube channel, so that anyone who wants to figure out what's going on there, you can join. Cool. Lots of love, everyone.
Take care, baby. Bye.
Bye.